Hi, welcome back to Wisdom of the Soul with Janice Mary. I just wanted to welcome you back. I hope you're enjoying this video series. Feel free to binge watch them and subscribe so you can get all the latest videos. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the ego and what side of the coin are you on. So I had a session with one of my clients and we were talking about the ego, and it's really interesting because the ego can be on either side of a coin, is how I put it. It's the easiest way to kind of visualize it. So we have a coin, if you just envision a coin, and on one side the ego is always telling us how horrible we are and we can't kind of do anything right. So that's the really critical side of the coin. The other side of the coin of the ego is telling you how great you are and how wonderful you're doing and how much better you are than other people. And so it's very inflated. So we always kind of go back and forth between the ego that's ripping us apart and making us feel very inferior to the ego that's telling us how great we are. So it's really the same coin, it's just a different side. And that can be very confusing because it can feel like you have all these different voices talking in your head. And you really don't. So the ego is one coin if you want to look at it. And on one side, that voice is always telling you that you can't do anything right. And on the other side, that voice is always telling you that you're better than other people and that you're somehow superior to people. And it's all normal. It's just ego talk. And the more we normalize this kind of normal talk of the ego, the easier it is for us, because then we can kind of accept, okay, this is just ego talk. This is how the ego talks. It either is going to make me better or worse. And I'm neither. I'm not better than people, but I'm also not worse off than people. We're equal and we come from the same spirit. So we're one. And the beautiful thing about the soul energy is that the soul energy helps us to feel this oneness so that we don't feel any longer that, you're worse off or you're better off than somebody else. So when you have these voices kind of talking to you all day long, it can get a little confusing. Okay, well, what's going on with me? Why is it one minute I feel horrible and I feel like I'm worse than everyone, and then the second minute I feel like somehow I'm better than people? And it's a little, it's hard. It's hard to go back and forth like that. And you can go through that for a time. I mean, you could, say you make tons and tons of money. So you're feeling really powerful and superior and somehow better than people. And then the next year you lose all your money and now you feel like a complete failure. You feel, like you're worse than everybody. So there are times in our lives where we can have this little bit of superior feeling and then this feeling of inferiority. So really what the soul helps us to do is integrate both, that we're not either one. We're not inferior and we're not superior. We're just equal. And the soul has this very, very amazing equalizing effect that shows us that, when we're here, we're in a body and we're separated, but we're really one. So if we're really one, nobody's better or worse than anybody else. And if one person is successful, we're all successful. And if one person is hurting and is homeless, we're all hurting and homeless. So that's where our family universe comes in, and that's where we can really start to see that we're all in this together and we all need to help each other and lift each other up and to support each other. And the way our soul expresses ourselves in our bodies is unique for each person. So it's so beautiful to see that when somebody is really supported to do what they want to do with their life, that their soul comes through. If a musician is supported to play music and to write music and to really, get into that craft, you see the soul coming through in that. If someone isn't supported, then you see somebody that's frustrated. You see a person that, wishes that they could have done something that they didn't get a chance to do. So it's so nice when we see successful people because they have empowered themselves enough to not listen to their egos. How have successful people become successful? They, in spite of their ego, they did it. They just said, I'm not going to let this ego get to me. I'm not going to let this ego control me, and I'm going to do it anyway. And usually, when you love something so much, it does put you in a higher energy. And that higher energy is enough to kind of quiet that ego down enough so that you can do your passion and you can do your life's work. So, it's really important that we support each other in our real true goals and who we are. There really isn't any form of competition. It's just how is that soul energy expressing itself individually through different people. And no person is any better or any worse than anybody else. So once we really, really understand that and realize that this ego mind is really just, it's a very low form of thinking. It's not a horrible form of thinking. It's just a very, very limited way of thinking. And I think if you talk to anybody that has any amount of success and you ask them, well, how did you do that? How did you, open up that business? You'll hear them say, well, you know what? I had an idea that I loved and I didn't care. I didn't care if it was going to be a failure or not. It's just the passion for that business was all I could see. And when people have that, they're connecting to their soul energy that just really drives them forward. So really, nothing has to stop us. This ego voice inside of us does not have to stop us, and we don't want to let it stop us. We just want to kind of look at it almost like a child who's talking kind of nonsense. And, whether this child is saying how great you are or how horrible you are, you kind of don't want to give it too much stock. And then you want to move into that soul energy, which is really the energy of the present. It's the energy and the consciousness of this present moment. You're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about the future. You're right in the present. And when you're in the present, you're no longer preoccupied with the ego and its talking. You're busy living. You're busy being in the moment. So the ego voice is much, much quieter. You're not listening to it at all. You're in experience. You're using each of your senses and they're coming alive. So if the ego starts to interfere with that, you're going to get better at moving out of that. And, I've been hearing from a lot of people who, have been reading these posts and listening to the videos. And some of you are actually really connecting to your soul and benefiting from this energy. And that is like the best news ever. I'm so excited when I hear people are able to connect to this energy because this is our energy. We share it. And the more you connect to it, the less anxious you feel, the less depressed you feel, the less you listen to your ego, if at all, and the more fun you have in your life. And you live a more soul-guided life. So you start to come into doing things you truly love to do, and not just things that you think you should do or you do out of the ego's prompting or the ego's fear of safety or loss. You don't really have those goals anymore. You can do what you truly, truly love to do. And that's really such good news. So, when you're, in your day, and if you're not feeling so great, just kind of tap in and listen to who's talking. And as the ego is talking, what side of the coin are you on? And depending on what side of the coin you're on, how you're feeling. If you're on that, I'm kind of better than other people's side, the more good feeling side of the ego, you probably just bought something or had some success or something great happened that you're feeling very, inflated. And those are great feelings and we can enjoy them. It's just that they don't last, and usually the ego on the other side of the coin is going to rob those feelings from you at some point. The soul is stability. The soul is that bridge between the two and gives us stability. It doesn't make us feel better or worse. It makes us feel stable and loved and unconditionally loved. One of my clients was asking me today, um, what, how could she tell the difference between like her ego talking to her and her soul talking to her, and would her soul want her to have certain accomplishments, and would her soul be happy if she did this or if she did that? Like, what would her soul think? And I just said to her, listen, you know what? This is how the soul talks. The soul says to you, you know what? We love who you are. We love all the things about you. We love how kind you are, and we love what you're doing in your life. And we love the essence of who you are. And what you decide to do with your life is not really of our concern. Our concern is that you know how loved you are and how adored you are. So if you decide to do, painting, we'll support and love you in that direction. If you decide to do nothing, if you decide to read all day, we'll love and support you in that direction. Anything that you want to do, you truly, truly want to do, you have our support. And that's unconditional love, and that's not something we feel here. So to feel this unconditional support and love is an amazing, amazing feeling. It's just to know that no matter what you decide to do, it's okay. And that you can really, really make decisions based on what you truly, truly want, and not out of what you think you should or shouldn't be doing. The soul wants you to grow through love and through doing the things that you love. And the soul also knows you're going to grow through pain and being in relationships or making choices that maybe aren't the best for us. The soul knows that we'll grow through that too. So experience is of no real consequence for the soul, and it doesn't really say, well, this is the right path or that's the right path. Whatever path you are on right in this moment, right now, is the path. So you're perfect exactly where you are, and the soul loves you for who you are right in this moment, and will continue to love you forever, and that's eternal. So that's really good news. So no matter what that little ego is saying, and whatever side of the coin the ego is on, just know that that's not the truth of you, and you don't have to listen to it. But it's hard to get out of that thinking without help from the soul. So keep going back within into your body. Feel that vibration within. Feel the energy within, and you will connect. And it's so amazing, and I'm so happy to hear so many people are connecting to this energy, and they really feel it. They feel it's a huge difference, and they feel their thoughts stopping, and they feel themselves being less anxious. And it has all those really wonderful effects. So, keep trying and stay at it. Do not give up. This is an energy that is available to us, and it is who you are, and it's filled with nothing but love and support and wisdom. So, I hope that helps. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to share with us, just post it down in the comments, and I would love to hear from you. So have a great, beautiful, soul-filled day. Bye.